Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to World of Tanks with Scout. Today I thought we'd get away from some of the reviews, just got some gameplay for you, and we're going to be looking at some gameplay featuring this monster tank right here, the M103 Tier 9 American Heavy Tank. And I got to tell you, this thing is rapidly becoming, if it hasn't already become, my new favorite heavy tank. I've just been having a lot of fun with it. Except in games where artillery gets me, or I just have a really terrible game, generally due to a really bad team that doesn't support me or does something weird. I tend to always do well in this tank, and I think that's just because it's, like we talked about in the review, just an all-around good tank. It doesn't excel in any one thing, but it doesn't have any terrible weaknesses either. And so it doesn't really matter what type of map you get, what kind of matchmaking you get. You can always do well in the M103 if you're familiar with it and put it in the right place. So here you see me taking third-person point of view shots at the Centurion 7.1. I touched on it at the beginning of the video. I've noticed that for the most part I don't die to enemy tanks very often, and most of the damage that I take is not from enemy tanks. It's actually from artillery. So what I was trying to do there is continue to move, take third-person point of view shots at that Centurion when I had him, because he's not particularly fast, but minimize the amount of time that I stop, because you can see that the enemy team does have a Geschützwagen Panther, and I didn't want him shooting at me, and I figured as a top-tier heavy I'd be a priority target. So again, just trying to take my shots where I could, but keep moving until I could get to cover, and then I went ahead into the sniper view and took the killing shot on that Centurion. Now we're pushing up this hill. We've got a 1390 doing a great scouting job for us. I know there's the Tiger 2 up there, Yag Tiger 88 off to the right. Don't think there's anyone else up here, so I'm going to go ahead and peek my head out. Always cognizant of the fact you could be walking into a trap up here, but not this time, and that is indeed just a Tiger 2, and he looks to be stock. It looks like the Henschel turret on him as well. Bad shot there. I was trying to catch the top of his turret. I was going to back down because when I saw the T-28, I thought that my instincts were right, and there is more up here than I had initially anticipated. But I saw the 1390 playing aggressively, and I felt like I should come up here and back him up since he's trying to actually play a scout tank right. So we came up and took the killing shot on the Tiger 2 to back up this 1390, and now we're going to continue to advance on this T-28 prototype and try to keep supporting our 1390. The only hesitation, again, worried about second tanks and worried about artillery. Once you pass that rock, you're a pretty blatant artillery target. That hesitation unfortunately meant that the 1390 a little bit slow in getting up there to support them, but we were able to get there in time to finish off the T-28, and there you see exactly what I'm talking about. Haven't taken any damage so far, bounced the shot from the Tiger 2, but the Geschützwagen Panther hits me for 195. I'm always an artillery target, don't know why. I need to improve that aspect of my gameplay, I think. And that of course slows us down so we don't get to the Yag Tiger 88 in time. But the Chaffee, the T-21, the T-69, I think even the 1390 were taking shots at that guy, and they just tore him up something fierce. So now we're going to go ahead and continue to push and try to get around the right flank of the enemy. Get down here, find the artillery, and then see if we can't circle behind the opposing team. You see the M103 moves out fairly well. We're holding to about 35 kilometers an hour, sometimes closer to 40 if we're able to get going downhill. But of course our light tanks do pull ahead of us. A little bit unfortunate that this tank isn't just a little bit faster. I would like to be able to keep pace with the battle in these types of situations a little better, but still all in all I'm pretty happy with the M103. Going to take a third-person shot at this VK2801 here. He's not the primary threat, obviously. The biggest threat is the Waffenträger auf Panzerführer. But I'm worried about the VK2801 because from that position he can shoot me in the flank. And if you guys saw the M103 tank review, you know that it's very vulnerable to being not so much ammo rack, but taking ammo rack damage if it's shot from the side. And that's why you see me looking for that VK as I try to close up with this Waffenträger auf Panzerführer and finish him off. Using third-person point of view here to make sure that I try to stay as hull down as I can, and angle enables me to ricochet that shot from that tank destroyer. Now he's doomed. He's not fast enough to get away. And we're able to finish him off and secure our 4th kill. Now we're looking for that VK2801. Thought he might be up here waiting for me to come out by behind the rock. Instead he shows up behind me. Fires a premium round into the back of my tank, which is a little unfortunate. That hurt. And then rams himself to death on the back of my tank. So, yeah, I don't know what that was all about, but sure, well played. Trying to get a shot on the Geschützwagen Panther here, accidentally crashed into the Hulk of the Waffenträger auf Panzerführer. Thought I could get around him. I was looking down range at the target instead of at where I was driving, like a noob, and crashed, but able to secure our 6th kill there on the enemy artillery and get a little bit of justice for that 195 points of damage that he inflicted on us earlier, because, you know, I was obviously camping. I've got some real heartburn with artillery in this game lately, especially coming off the Armored Warfare beta tests. I'm liking artillery in World of Tanks less and less. I may do a video on that shortly in the coming weeks. But getting back to the gameplay, you can see that this game is incredibly close. There's 4 tanks left on either side, and unfortunately the STA-1 and the Rheinmetall Borsig have reached our cap, and I'm trying to get over here and circle behind them. May have been a mistake to take this slow tank this far around, but I felt like I needed to push that in order to get back there and take out the enemy artillery. Was hoping that some of the light tanks would have survived, but again, unfortunately wasn't fast enough to keep up with them to support them the way they needed once they ran into that tank destroyer and the VK. Fortunately, our ISU-152 takes out the enemy Rheinmetall Borsig and pulls back the odds a little bit, so now it's 3-on-3. E-75 in the cap circle, and now he's within our draw distance, so what we're going to do is pull up here to the high ground and try to take shots at him and support the ISU-152. Use a third-person shot there because I needed that shot to be quick to try and get the E-75's attention. Unfortunately, it didn't work, so we're going to pull up and pull into sniper mode. And oh, we set him on fire. I thought I had that kill, and the T-69 robs us of our 7th kill. What, 40 points of damage? Oh, and then the ISU-152 finishes off the STA-1, and that quick. This game is over, and there went any shot I had at a Radley Walters medal, which I really thought I was going to get in this game. There's the T-29. Knew he had to be skulking out here somewhere. The sultry third-person point of view shot finishes him off, and we finished the game with 7 kills. Missed a Radley Walters by like 40 points of damage, maybe less. A little frustrating, but all in all, I had a lot of fun. I thought that was a great game. Let's take a look at the results screen. So here's the results from our victory on that Karelia assault. You can see that we got a first-class mastery badge, not quite enough for an ace tanker badge, Top Gun, and high caliber. Taking a look at the team score, you can see that I was able to put out 3,736 points of damage, secure those 7 kills, and rake in 1,127 base experience. So not all that bad for a quick game in the M103. Looking at the detailed report, we fired 14 shots, got 11 hits. Of those 11, they all penetrated, giving us our 3,736 points of damage, 882 of it from more than 300 meters. Took 3 hits, only 1 penetrated, bounced 2. Got hits once as a result of splash damage from that RD, because reasons. Total damage blocked by armor, 880. Only 1 vehicle spotted, but we damaged 8, destroyed 7, got credit for 525 points of assistance damage. Pulled in 36,454 credits after repair and rearm, brought home 15,093. And fortunately, this was my double for that day, so all told, raked in 3,381 points of experience. Not that bad for a Tier 9 game in the M103. But let's take a look at another game and see if we can do better. So here we are in another Tier 9 game on Redshire. Teams look pretty good once again, although that M53-55 does worry me. And I think in this game I'm obligated, anybody really in a heavy tank, especially a top tier heavy tank, is obligated to go down the east side of the map, down the 9-0 lines, and clear that kind of that valley of death down there. So that's where we're going to head off in our M103. And this is kind of the situation I was talking about in the first replay I showed you guys, where I think the M103 does just fine on this map, whereas the STI, sometimes I feel at a disadvantage in my STI because it's awful slow getting over there. Like we covered in the M103 review, the STI doesn't climb hills and cross difficult terrain as well as the M103 does. Similarly, in my E75, I kind of feel like I don't have the gun depression or the armor strength in the turret to hold this location as well as I do in the M103, just because that the E75 turret is flat. It doesn't have any curved armor, and the armor value there isn't especially high. It can sometimes be difficult to hold this spot against Tier 9 opponents who can penetrate your turret armor frontally with a good armor penetration roll, because again, no spaced armor, no curves, and no angles. So I think that's part of the reason why I tend to do so much better in this vehicle as opposed to the E75. Really unlucky bounce there on the side of that T-34 too. I think that shot drifted up into his turret, which was pointed kind of towards us. Kind of unfortunate. But we did get a good lucky shot there into that 1390 just to dissuade him from coming this way. And now we got a Ferdinand charging up here. It's a little inconvenient. Looks like the T-34-2 is thinking about getting brave. Trying to figure out how to get out from behind this rock and get some damage done. I want to back up and hit this T-34-2, but already chased him away. And then that M103 snuck a shot into my flank, which kind of surprised me. I didn't think he was going to come that far forward. T-34-2 makes a mistake, doesn't back off quick as he should. Maybe he wasn't looking at me. Looks like he might have been aiming at somebody behind me, and he pays the price for it. Not sure what that Ferdinand was doing climbing up on the hill like that. He may be trying to minimize the signature that he presents to artillery. Able to bounce a shot there from a T-34, and thought that he was further back. Didn't realize he was right there, but fortunately saw him on the mini-map, zoomed out, and took a return shot into his side. Now it looks like he's going to come forward and try to push his luck. We're able to back off, make him hit the outside track, which does nothing more than track damage. And then the M103 comes up here and tries the same thing, kind of surprising. T-34's reload's pretty bad, don't think I can beat it. Trying to goose him into shooting our outside track, he doesn't do it, but he gets distracted and we're able to plant one onto his front glacis before the SU-101 pulls up and finishes him off. Now we only have to worry about this M103. Trying to figure out how I can get around here and not give him my inside drive wheels. Only give him the turret, and able to sneak a shot there into his lower glacis. I was kind of concerned about the angle of that, which is why I didn't take it immediately. But once I got tracked, I figured I needed to try at least. And as you can see, we're making the armor of the M103 work for us fairly well. We've taken 5 hits, only one of which is penetrated. Able to put a shot through the front of the Tiger P there, finish him off, and secure our 3rd kill. Now we're just going to come up and bully this Black Prince. Put one into the top there, which penetrates and tracks him, which is a great result for us. Surprisingly, the Black Prince penetrates us twice. And we're able to penetrate him in the same place up at the top, keeping him on track. Got a good damage roll for once when we actually needed it. 406 points of damage, enough to secure our 4th kill and put paid to that Black Prince. Now we're able to push up along with our STI, WZ-132, and Black Prince, and see if we can't clear off the hill. There's usually a couple of tank destroyers camping up here near their spawn, about where the number 1 is on the mini-map down there. Again, we're fortunate in this game we have a scout who's actually scouting for us, the WZ-132, so that's always nice. Appreciate him doing that. Kind of odd that he hasn't spotted anyone yet, or no one's taken a shot, so I feel like maybe the majority of the enemy team is actually up here on the hill, so that's why I put this hard right rather than continue to go to the WZ-132. Trying to get a shot on this Panther 2 here. Doesn't look like I can line one up. Go to the T-54 instead. No joy there either. Maybe this 1375. Nothing there either. Yeah, it looks like they're all on the far side of this hill here. I noticed the WZ-132 still hasn't found anybody yet, so fortunate for us that we chose to actually turn and follow the sound of the guns, if you will, rather than follow that WZ-132. Not that he's doing anything wrong, it's just that this is a top tier heavy, and especially as a heavy tank, we're not going to get much damage done if we don't drive towards where there are definitely enemies. Trying to support this WZ now, line up a shot on this ISU 152. Can't get it because of the hill, so what I'm trying to do is get up on the high ground, and hopefully he can pull up beside him. Yep, looks like he's able to pull it off and finish that SU 152. Doesn't need any help from us, so glad to see that work out. I would have felt bad if that little WZ had died after I kind of left him. But fortunately that didn't happen, and now we've got a pair of T-54s and the artillery left. Looks like this guy's out in the open and not moving, so slam a shot into him and then continue moving again, always cognizant of the fact that artillery, wherever he's at, is probably aiming at me. Fortunately not in this case. It looks like, again, the WZ-132 is giving him enough problems. He's probably distracted. Come up here and take a shot at this T-54. Take him out, secure our fifth kill, and then was trying to turn around and get a shot on Artie, but that's it. Just like that, a little over 6 minutes, and that game is done. Let's check out the results screen. So here we have the results screen from our victory on Redshire, again with the first class mastery badge. No high caliber, no Top Gun for this one, but we were shooting at significantly more tier 9 and tier 8 tanks in this game, so looks like we did a little better in terms of experience and credits earned. If we take a look at the team score, you'll see that I inflicted 3,735 points of damage. Not so much above everyone else this time. Not quite as lopsided. The Tiger 2 on our team had an outstanding game with 3,150 points of damage done. I was able to secure 5 kills, raking in a total of 1,177 base experience for this game. So a little better than the last game, but apparently still not enough for a mastery badge. If we take a look at the detailed report, you'll see that I fired 12 shots, all of which hit. Only 11 penetrated, though, giving us our 3,735 points of damage. Worked our armor a lot more in this game, though. Received 7 hits, 5 of which penetrated, 2 did not, and took 1 hit from Artie for a total of only 800 points of damage blocked by armor. But keep in mind, a lot of those penetrations were for absolutely no damage, just hits on the track. So I really think that needs to be changed. It needs to reflect better using your tracks to absorb shots when you're doing it intelligently and deliberately like we were doing there. I'm not sure. I don't know, maybe they just total up all the damage absorbed by your tracks, whether you meant to do it or not, in order to give you a better idea of how well you're using your armor. But something to think about. Spotted 2 enemy tanks, damaged 8, destroyed 5, and also a big difference in this game, got credit for 1,477 points of assistance damage. Pulled in 40,555 credits after repair and rearm. Brought home a total of 18,332, and total experience for this game 3,531. So again, fantastic game in the M103, but still not a mastery badge. Let's take a look at one more game and see if I can get this mastery badge nailed. So here we are once again in the M103, this time on Malinovka. And as you can see, in terms of vehicles, this is a fantastic matchup. There's only 3 tier 9 tanks on each team. There's absolutely no artillery, which is my kind of game. What you can't see because XVM stats is being obnoxious for the last 3 days is that it's not a great matchup in terms of the actual players. I am actually the best player on my team, which isn't really saying much, whereas the Conqueror, the Leopard prototype, and the M46 patent are all in a platoon, and they are all Unicum players. Which means, yeah, they're purple in color, and they're all a lot better than me. So, I was really feeling the pressure in this game. I felt like I needed to get up to the hill and have a big impact on that fight for the top of the hill because their Unicum players are all in medium tanks, and they're all in fast, particularly good medium tanks, although the Leopard prototype isn't really suited to slugging things out. They can take the top of the hill quickly, and then if my team gets up there and impales themselves on those good players, we're in a lot of trouble. Now look at what's happening over here off to the left. I don't know what happened, but apparently 2 of their heavy tanks got caught out right there on that ridge, including the T-34 and the Conqueror, and they both just got wrecked. In fact, the Conqueror just got finished by a blind shot from our Foch. So that just made a tremendous amount of difference in this game. Well played to my team for pulling that off, because that was all them. I had nothing to do with that. And not only did that take 2 of their better tanks out of this game, but it also allowed me to get to the top of the hill unmolested. Now you see me side scraping, trying to fight the Carnarvon behind the windmill. I was actually concerned about artillery when I got up here, because I had completely forgotten that there was none. Really unfortunate that my first shot into the flank of the Carnarvon tracked him but did no damage, and then we've kind of been trading tracking shots back and forth. I did take a penetration from the Carnarvon and then one into my left side from the Tiger II there, but I'm still confident in my ability to win this engagement. Still bouncing shots getting absorbed by the tracks, haven't taken any damage yet, and it's just a matter of time before I catch this Carnarvon, just like that. And yeah, not so clever now, are you? Unfortunately for the Carnarvon, he doesn't realize his mistake, pulls up again, and this time my shot flies true exactly where I aim it, right into his drive wheel, tracks him. He repairs, it looks like, but it's about done for that Carnarvon. You can see the Patton and the Leopard prototype are, I'm sorry, the Patton is still there in the background, so I have to be cognizant of him. It doesn't look like the Carnarvon wants to come back up, so I'm backing out now, trying to get a shot at this Tiger II, who looks like he's distracted with somebody else. Don't want to expose my tank to the whole rest of the enemy team, though. Able to plant that shot there in the side of that Tiger II and give him pause. Now note what the Patton is doing here, and this is again why it's so dangerous to have Unicum players on the enemy team and none on yours. He's recognized that he's not going to beat me, not like this. Not when I have a good position. I'm in a top tier heavy tank, and he's a top tier tank as well, but he's a medium tank, so he's repositioning to pick a different engagement that better suits his tank. And that's what makes players like that so dangerous in medium tanks, is they have the speed, the maneuverability to do that, and they recognize these things. And that's something that you can pick up from this video from the enemy team. Look at how he quickly realized, alright, this isn't going to work. All I'm doing is impaling myself on heavy tanks that are in a better position. And just pull back and go somewhere else. Go to a better position. That's something I wanted you guys to take away from this in the event that any of you are playing medium tanks. But now that the Carnarvon's out of the way and the Tiger II is backed off, we're now shifting fire onto the IS-3. He was able to put one good shot into the top of his turret into that weak point there. And now it's time to move up as the enemy team is falling back. Caught that Patton looking, able to plant one that looked like into the side of his turret. Now I'm trying to get either the Super Pershing or the Patton. Looks like my team just finished off the Super Pershing, so we'll put one on the side of this Tiger II's turret. And they're taking a lot of fire, in case you're wondering why their turrets are over the side, from the Jagdtiger, the Foch, and the T-34 too, that are down at the bottom side shooting up at these guys. Just all in all, this is really good play by my team as a whole, keeping up the pressure across the map and not allowing them to get anywhere. You can see the Patton is falling back completely, I should say. And again, that's what we talked about earlier, repositioning. Know when, hey, this is not a good situation. It's better to take my tank somewhere else where I can affect the battle, rather than just futilely allowing yourself to be picked apart in a position that's absolutely useless. So credit to him again for smart play. Able to put a shot meanwhile into the Ferdinand. Got a good damage roll, 435 there. Wasn't able to get a second shot into the IS-3, but he's finished off as well. And now you can see where the Leopard prototype and the Patton have gone. They've pulled back behind this hill and they're back there together, where again they have a hill to work with. They can work the excellent gun depression and high DPM accuracy and penetration of their vehicles on this hill. Again, just really good play. That's what you expect from players like that. And here again, I feel like I have to back this T-34 up. Like, it's incumbent on me as a top tier heavy tank to go on here and root these guys out to make them move, because they've moved to a really strong position. Tried to surprise that Leopard prototype, put one into his flank. Unfortunately, the vehicle bounced just as I pulled the trigger, so that shot goes low into the dirt. But again, we're going to keep the pressure up, ignore the T-20, and continue to chase these guys around the hill. We have to get them down. Able to secure the kill on the Patton, and now this is pretty much over. You can see the entire team is converging on these guys. Ram the leopard prototype so he doesn't get away. Put a shot into him. Yag Tiger came up there, tried to finish him. Looks like the leopard was able to scoot out of the way. And now we're going to back up and finish him off, securing our third kill. And that's the game. Again, just a little over 6 minutes, and really surprising considering that they had an entire Unicum platoon on the opposing team. Really unfortunate that Conqueror got blasted like he did on the side of the hill. Otherwise, that game might have gone a lot differently. Let's take a look at the results screen. And here you have the results from our battle on Malinovka, and wouldn't you know it, over 4,000 points of damage, a steel wall, bruiser, fire for effect, duelist, shellproof. Still not enough to get an ace tanker badge, only a first class. I don't know what people are doing in this tank, but it must be truly amazing because I actually thought I had my mastery badge on that one, even though I didn't get a top gun or anything. Taking a look at the team scores, you can see that I was far and away able to lead my team in terms of damage done with 4,106 points of damage and able to pull in 1,194 points of base experience in that game. So really good game, just apparently still not enough for an ace tanker badge. Looking at the detailed report, you can see that I fired 18 shots, 16 of which hit, only 13 penetrated. Still good enough for 4,106 points of damage. We took 14 shots, 8 of which penetrated, 6 bounce, giving us a total damage block by armor of 2,440. But again, several of those were no damage penetration and the tracks, which the more I look at it, really skews that number and kind of frustrates me. We got credit for spotting 4 enemy vehicles, damaged 6, only destroyed 3, only got credit for 335 points of assistance damage, pulled in 38,120 credits after repair and rearm, brought home 12,154, and total experience after the double and everything else 2,388. So that's it for my gameplay video for the M103 today. Hope you guys had a good time watching this. I had a lot of fun playing these games. I'm continuing to have a blast playing the M103. It is a really, really fun tank, and I cannot recommend it enough. I seriously love this tank. I think at this point even more than the STI, which I thoroughly enjoyed. So yeah, if you haven't got the M103, go ahead and start grinding towards it, because I guarantee you once you get that top gun, you're going to have a ball in this tank. Hope you guys learned something from the video, were able to take something away from it. If not, hope you at least enjoyed watching. And as always, we'll see you next time.